Hi, my name is Frank Alvarado, and this is my presentation on youth sports tourism and the economic impact it has. After watching the HBO Real Sports segment on youth sports tourism, it made me think about the times I spent growing up on the road playing in different baseball and soccer tournaments. As kids, we do not think about the expenses our parents are going through. All we know is that they love doing it for us. But as the parents say in the video, the kids do not hear the burdens or strains it puts on them. I was fortunate to travel a bit, but not much. There were teams I could have been on, but I could not because we did not have the money to pay for me to play. I was fortunate to be able to play with my all-star baseball team that made it all the way to regionals in the Little League World Series tournament. The only downside was that my mom could not come because of the funds we didn't have. For me not to miss it, she sent me off with a teammate and his family. That was back then. If I were a kid playing in today's game, I would not be able to play because, just like the segment says, the cost to play is too high. I wouldn't be able to afford it. With that said, just like how Williamsport is the pinnacle of Little League Baseball, Round Rock, Texas is what Williamsport is to baseball, but for all sports in general. Round Rock, Texas is a city where youth sports is booming. They branded themselves as the sports capital of Texas. According to the Sports Facility Company article naming the top 5 youth sports facilities in Texas, Round Rock is at the top of that list. Round Rock Sports Center boasts an impressive 82,800 square foot facility ideal for indoor sports. It features 47,775 square feet of flexible, open playable space that can be converted into 6 high school basketball courts or 12 high school volleyball courts. It's massive. Since opening in 2014, the Sports Center has contributed to the local economy by generating nearly $16 million in economic activity each year. Sports tourism in Round Rock has generated more than $162 million in economic activity since the Sports Center opened. That's just an example of what Round Rock has to offer. Let me talk about the economic impact in Round Rock, Texas. Round Rock sports management and tourism properties helped generate over $558 million in travel spending in fiscal year 2023 and 2024, resulting in more than $22 million in new cash spent directly in the local economy. Some of those factors include job creations, which the industry supports around 5,300 jobs in the area. Next is tax revenue. Over $54.3 million in state and local tax revenues were generated from visitors. According to the Round Rock, Texas website, in 2018, they generated $308 million in direct travel spending. Of the direct spending reported, the city of Round Rock collected $29 million in tax revenue, which helped fund city infrastructure improvement and keeps local taxes low for residents. Next is local business support. With the influx of visitors for tournaments, it provides a steady stream of revenue for local hotels, restaurants, gas stations, and shops. And last, infrastructure investments. Due to its success, it has led to continued investments in infrastructure improvements and new facilities. Let's talk about the factors to consider when calculating the economic impact of youth sports tourism. These factors are direct spending, which is the primary factor, is the direct spending by visitors on hotels, food, retail, transportation, and event registration. Next is visitor origin and duration of the stay. This is the percentage and number of visitors coming from outside the host economy. It is essential to know whether they stay overnight. Next is opportunity cost, the economic activity that might have occurred anyway, for example, if the facility site could have been used for a different profitable venture. Last, leakage. This is the money spent that leaves the local economy, for example, booking a national hotel chain. Next, let's talk about the pros and cons of the continued growth of youth sports tourism. Let's start with the cons. First is risk of overdevelopment, financial failure. Facilities are expensive to build and operate. Some have failed to meet economic projections, which have led to financial strain on cities and developers. It happens. Next, potential for public opposition. Here you will have some residents opposing the use of taxpayer money or the imposition of new taxes to fund projects, especially if they do not see the direct community benefit. Next is the reliance on the volatile tourism industry. The industry still relies on travel and can be impacted by broader economic conditions or global events. For example, what we went through with the COVID pandemic. Lastly, the juice box effect. This is where an issue could arise when visitors bring their own food and stay for short durations, limiting local spending to gas and little else. I'm guilty of doing something like that myself. Now, let's conclude this presentation with the pros. First up is significant economic boost. Definitely brings in a massive amount of revenue for hospitality, food and beverage, and retail sectors. Job creation, from facility staff to hotel employees and restaurant workers, it supports thousands of jobs. Next is the infrastructure improvements, like I mentioned above. With the increased tax revenue that comes in, it can be allocated to fund improvements on infrastructures and new facilities that can benefit both visitors and the local community. Next is enhanced community profile. Hosting high-profile tournaments raises the city's visibility, which in turn attracts further tourism and new businesses. Last but not least, local youth benefits, which I think is the biggest one. This is where local youth athletes gain access to state-of-the-art facilities that they may not have had before, which can improve local sports programming. Well, this was my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.